Welcome down to Peppermint Wednesday. My name's Peter Roper. I'm known as the Family Businessman, and welcome to this video blog where I share a question I've been given from a client which I think will be useful for you. Today, this is a really interesting one. What's the difference between ownership and management? What's the difference between ownership and management? You know, the way some businesses are constructed, you can have very much a silent partner in the business, and quite often that applies to family businesses where somebody else in the family, or perhaps not, has said, look, you know, here's some money to help you get started. And maybe a few years later, you know, they're still a part of that business, but they're a silent partner. In other words, they get some pennies perhaps at the end of each year, and that's wonderful. My personal experience is that's a very dangerous place to be, especially when the chips are down. Then all of a sudden everybody starts looking at things from a monetary perspective, and all of a sudden families can fall out with each other. Only a few weeks ago I was talking with a family business and exactly that thing happened. In other words, somebody put some money in, it was an uncle in this situation, and some years later they've been paid back quite handsomely for that opportunity. But all of a sudden, because the chips were down in the business, because trading conditions were difficult, they wanted their return. And they wanted to be involved in the business, although they knew absolutely nothing about the business, because what they were seeing was money and not the vision of the business, if that makes sense. So for me, there's a couple of things to think about, which is be clear about what's the difference between ownership and management. All right? If you're a shareholder in a family business, you're an owner of it, what's the role do you have? Do you have a management role in this business or not? And if you do, what is it? If you don't have a role in it, basically butt out. You know, accept the fact that you've put some money into something and it may or may not be successful for you, but that's it. That's as far as it goes. Whereas, of course, if you've got a management role inside the business, well, then we better define it, and we better define exactly what that means. And I think key for me here also is to define what the rewards really mean. So in terms of if somebody is managing the business, what are the rewards for managing the business? Which can be completely different to the rewards for owning the business. And of course that applies, of course, inside a family business where you take somebody on and you employ somebody and perhaps they're managing it for you. I can think of a very well-known organisation, not that far from where we're filming today. It is a household name where they've got exactly this challenge, where two people, their brother and sister, are the shareholders or majority shareholders in the business. And the person that runs it is managing the business. They've come through that family business from starting from scratch all the way through until they've become managing director of the business in the end. Now, they don't decide on the direction, the vision of the family business. They're there to make it work. And the vision is from the brother and the sister, if that makes sense. And they're very clear, and that family business is doing very well since they put that process in place. Prior to that, it wasn't working at all because the vision wasn't there. They're clear, they have clarity where ownership starts and where management starts, because they're two completely different things. So that's it. Let's get social. Let's put some stuff on social media. Send me an email. I always respond to them personally. And let's see how we understand the difference between ownership and management. My name is Peter Roper. I'm known as the Family Businessman. This has been Peppermint Wednesday. And remember, if I can help you in any way, just let me know. Thanks for listening.